Hello and welcome to the Random Wrestling Review. This is our local to global series, and we are now in July of 2000. The calendar keeps on turning over, and this save goes into the second half of the year 2000. We're just a month away from the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, which is always a major part of the calendar. But up next, we have got the next show, which is going to be Big Night Out, a new annual event that we're putting in place for July, Monday of week 2. Just check one more time about the availability here. We are fine. And yeah, this is a reasonably big match. We've got the main event, Dave Batista versus Mark Henry. We've got Dan Severn versus Barry Buchanan also on the show as Dan Severn continues to try and go through the rebellion. And the tag team championships are on the line as well, as Red Alert will take on the Mavericks. A big match in company history. Of course, this follows the fact that they won a second tag team match Full Circle about a month ago, defeating Buddy Wayne and Billy Kidman, and then last week challenged the Red Alert for the titles. Bruce Hart said that they needed to win the 10-man tag that happened in the main event full force, and they did that along with CM Punk, Mark Henry, and Sean Stasiak to get that victory. That victory also enabled us to have Mark Henry level on points with Billy Kidman and Charlie Haas in the race for number one contender. And that's why Mark Henry is getting the title shot here at this event. Also, there you got Buddy Wayne on 7 points, Rex King and CM Punk and CW Anderson all on 6. James Storm now on 5, Chris Adams and Teddy Hart on 4, ECMO, Keith Hart, Sean Stasiak on 3, Barry Buchanan on 2, and then you've got Eric Young, Dan Severn, Chemo, and Ace Steel all on 1 point apiece. Now, we're going to move forward with our save now. So we're going to go to the next player controlled show. But I want to also tell you up front today that we're only going to do one event. I've been looking at what's next for the second show in July, and I haven't been able to settle on it. And actually, it's been an interesting one. You obviously you guys will not be aware of this because I've been releasing the episodes quite regularly. In fact, two episodes every week for a long time. I did get, and I still am actually, even as I'm recording this, quite a long way ahead in my recording schedule. But there was a little break that I've taken between the last episode and this one because I found something that really scuppered my plans. And I'm actually going to tell you about this on this occasion because ordinarily I wouldn't, because I like to save things back. And who knows, maybe one day I will enact this. So maybe I shouldn't tell you, but I figured, what the hell? Let's tell you what my thinking was and why I've had to pause everything for a couple of days. And that was that I was looking to make a signing that would um basically I was looking to sign Natty Neidhart, and I can't do it. I've been having a look at what her position is, and she's unfortunately not available to me. She's not available to hire, and that is because she is employed by WWC on an exclusive written deal. And that's a real disappointment because I wanted to bring Natty Neidhart in and start to begin a women's division. I don't know. It was going to be a women's division that would progress very, very gradually, very, very slowly, and built around Natty Neidhart, Natalia, obviously. And when I found this out, I got a bit downbeat about it. I got a bit like, oh, that's annoying because it's kind of scuppered a lot of plans I had for the future, and even actually these next couple of shows. So I had to go away and just think about things for a little bit and make a decision on what I wanted to do next. And I've now reached that point, which is why I've been able to record this episode. But nevertheless, I'm still not fully certain of what I'm going to do in the next show. So this will be one event only, today's episode. And so I'm going to try and take things quite slowly because I don't think I'm in a place where, well, I'm not in a place where I can bring you 2 shows on this episode. Whatever the case, we are going to go into this one and start to book the big night out. And we are going to start with a singles match, which will pit CM Punk against Teddy Hart, a match I don't believe has happened before. The only time they've ever met in the ring previously was the Lottery Brawl. So this is a new singles match we've not had before. We are going to have CM Punk win. We're going to have them work the crowd, pinfall finish, and I think we'll go for a tainted win though. Teddy Hart is going up a little bit in people's estimation, and his performances have improved quite a lot. And we've still got quite a lot in mind for Teddy Hart, but CM Punk is going to go over and get the victory in this match. Then we're going to continue what's going on with the Rebellion. So Chemo and ECMO are going to join Ace Steel in a 6-man tag match against Billy Kidman, Keith Hart, and Eric Young. Now, I've decided to have the Rebellion win this one because I'm not kind of plowing ahead with my plans to completely blow up the Rebellion just yet. We're going to have Ace Steel get the pinfall over Eric Young, who's still kind of introducing himself perennially by losing. But that's the 6-man tag match we're going to have in place. A victory for the Rebellion in that one. I mean, the reason I'm doing that is because obviously Samoan Violence Connection are a tag team, and they will feature in the Super Summer Tag Team Classic, Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, I should say. So they're going to be one of the tag teams, and I just felt like it was important for them to continue to win a match that they should win against 3 reasonably lower down or lesser sized competitors in that one ahead of the tournament. The next match is going to be Buddy Wayne versus Rex King. So both these guys, as you'll see from the rankings, are in pretty good place here, 4th and 5th. A win for Buddy Wayne would put him equal with Mark Henry, Billy Kidman, and Charlie Haas. A win for Rex King would have him just bubbling under. We're going to make this the storytelling match, I think. 13 minutes on this occasion. But the winner is going to be Buddy Wayne. Our old favourite Buddy Wayne is going to get the victory in this one. Rex King unhappy with the booking of the match. Let's just give him a keep strong note to the road agent, and that's all fine. I like Rex King. He's performed well so far. And I sometimes think that this is difficult, but I think this is something the game needs to take into account a little bit. Is that not every win and loss matters all that much? And if you've got a guy like Rex King who, let's just pretend he's reasonably well known, which he's not, let's be honest with yourself. Like when his top popularity region is, 36 in the southeast, he's hardly a big star. Now, granted, Buddy Wayne is a smaller star, but in the Northwest, where this match is being seen and will only be seen in the Northwest, Buddy Wayne is actually a bigger star. Not only that, but he's a far bigger deal within the company. And I just wonder if there's a way the game can have more than one measurement for why a wrestler might object to losing a match. And in this case, any wrestler that loses to Buddy Wayne, in my view, is kicking up a fuss for nothing, because Buddy Wayne is an absolute legacy star of our promotion. Nearly 5 years in, the original wrestler in this company, former champion in this company. It just seems a bit silly that anyone would object to losing to him. But anyway, we're through that now. I think what we're going to do next is have the I think we're gonna what are we doing? I think we're gonna have the tag team match next. The RWR Northwest Tag Team titles are on the line. Charlie Haas and C.W. Anderson against James Storm and Chris Harris. Now, this has obviously got quite a lot riding on it because of the fact that we're going to move this. We're not going to have this in this position. We're going to move it up to the semi-main, but this is going to be. Are we going to do a slow build for this one? No, I don't think we will. I think these guys are capable of not doing that. So we are going to have new tag team champions here. Chris Harris is going to pin C.W. Anderson to give the victory to the Mavericks for the Northwest Tag Team titles. So this is obviously all, part of the story, which is that James Storm's contract is up at the end of July, and he's been trying since the beginning of the year to find a way to stay with the company and he happened upon this idea to become tag team champions along with Chris Harris a few months ago. And now that plan is coming to fruition. He is going to win the tag team titles alongside Chris Harris. After the match, James Storm and Woman, well, of Chris Harris as well, the Mavericks offer the Hart brothers a chance to take the tag belts in 2 weeks. So this is them kind of bragging and very, very confident after their victory of winning the tag team titles, saying to Heath and his brother Bruce that if you want rid of us, if you want rid of James Storm from this company, then the only way to accomplish that now is to face us next in 2 weeks' time. We will defend these tag team belts against you, um, for at that point. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to have the other singles match, which is going to be um, Barry Buchanan, Dan Severn, and yeah, Dan Severn's going to win this by submission, I should say. But am I tempted to put that before? I'm tempted to put that before the tag team title match because I think the tag team title match could be excellent. Actually, it might even be. Actually, I back it to be the best match of the day of the night. I think we'll keep it like this, even if that is the best match. No, I don't think we need to worry too much about that, because the show will be better than our overall popularity anyway, no matter what happens. So we're going to go with it. And the main event is going to be Dave Batista, not Dan Severn, Dave Batista defending his title against Mark Henry. This will be Batista's second defense of the belt. And we are going to have Batista win by pinfall. Yes, we want the title on the line. I'm just trying to weigh up what I want to do with Sean Stasiak here. Because I think I want Sean Stasiak to come down and attack Batista. Do I want him to try and interfere in the match? I don't think I do. I think I want I think I want this to be a clean victory for Batista. Um, but I feel like I can't ignore the story at the very least. So we're actually going to have Sean Stasiak come out. Oh, I keep doing that wrong. And we're going to have Stasiak comes out after match and tells Batista that he will be the man to take the belt from him. So that's just an after thing. He's not even going to come out and attack him. He's just going to tell Batista that he's going to be the man to take the belt from him. Even though Stasiak in the rankings is a long way back, he's only got 3 victories, or 3 points, I should say, at this point in time. Do I want something else? We are gonna do an attack angle. We'll have a still, emo, ECMO, Barry Buchanan attack Dan Severn, and and beat him down in a show of unity. So effectively, the rebellion are trying to show that they are still very much a unified force in this company. Apologies for coughing. I have another cough. It's just the way it is at the moment, I'm afraid. It's been pretty constant for me over this last few months. I'm wondering now whether to lift the tag team matchup again. Up here. I think I will. So that's at least the penultimate match. I think it's going to be better than the Barry Buchanan Dan Severn contest. Now, I just want to explore the storylines. We've got the Punk Buddy Wayne thing, which I think it might be time for us to let go of. They did fight each other in the last show, so I guess I could leave it for another month just in case I need to use it a bit longer. James Storm versus Bruce Hart obviously continues. Mark Henry's. I'm going to change this story now to Batista versus Henry and Stasiak. And we've also got the Rebellion Implodes ? Which is their feud with Dan Severn. At the moment, I'm not kicking off anything else. And I think what tends to happen when we get to this part of the year, especially as we go into the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, is usually most of the stories kind of run their course. And then we kind of refresh everything. Then we sort of refresh everything coming out of that tournament. So I think we're okay to just play out these current storylines until the end of this month at least. Okay, so let's run this show. So in front of 132 people, I think we have a new best ever attendance, certainly paid for attendance, I should say. I think so. We'll look at that after the event. But CM Punk wins the opener against Teddy Hart in 8:22 when using the ropes for leverage. CM Punk's in-ring performance is a 49. He just gets better and better at this point. Teddy Hart 33, a segment rating of 49. What an opening contest that these two have put on. Very, very nice indeed. A really good start to the show. Very strong. Very strong. Then we have the six-man tag match, which is a bit more the norm, I would suggest. A segment rating of 34. Keith Hart is off his game. ECMO's gimmick stale. So is Keith Hart's. Keith Hart's? That's not right. Keith Hart's. I'm going to just write that down now to remind myself to just freshen up their gimmick a little bit. Chemo had an in-ring performance of 44 here. Ace Steel 34. Everyone else in the 20s, which is disappointing. The Rebellion win this one when Ace Steel pins Eric Young after 8:57. Segment rating of 34, but this was never expected to be anything too special, so I'm fine with that. The next match, Buddy Wayne versus Rex King. A victory for Buddy Wayne in 13 minutes and 7 seconds by pinfall. Buddy Wayne an in-ring performance of 39. Rex King a 38. Segment rating of 39. Decent, perhaps not quite as good as I was maybe hoping for, given that both have performed well as of late. And this feels like it could be a feud as well, actually thinking about it. But I haven't done that on this occasion. Maybe this will be something we do in the future. Buddy Wayne gets the victory here. Then Barry Buchanan versus Dan Severn, another 39 rated match. This one went 7:33 with Dan Severn winning with the Beast Choker submission. Barry Buchanan at 37, Dan Severn a 30 in ring performance, a segment rating of 39. And just kind of reflecting on the performances that we're seeing from Dan Severn and have been seeing from Dan Severn as of late, especially since he lost the Northwest title, it feels to me like Severn is not necessarily going to be a particularly long-term guy on our roster. I think his main purpose at the moment is to be in this feud with the Rebellion, coming out of him losing the belt and them being obviously then having cost Severn the title back at the Lottery Brawl. But beyond that story, I don't know how much more time we're going to keep Severn on the roster. He served his purpose when we needed him to do it, but he came in really as a guy that I only ever had the vision of champion for, and now him kind of just sort of hanging around in general on the roster isn't really something that I'm that eager to pursue. But we'll see. It might be that something comes of this feud that in the end convinces me to keep Severn around. But at the moment, my view is that I don't think Severn will be here beyond the end of the year. Put it that way. Okay, so after this match, the Rebellion attack Dan Severn in numbers and they beat him down, and they kind of all put their fists together to show unity between these guys after months of miscommunication and difficulties, or at least a couple of weeks of difficulty between the members, as we get closer and closer to the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, which both Ace Steel and Barry Buchanan as a team, and the Samoan Violence Connection intend to participate in. Then the tag team title match, a segment rating of 47, so very, very good between these two. The Mavericks beat Red Alert in 15 minutes and 9 seconds when Chris Harris pins C.W. Anderson. The Mavericks become the RWR Northwest Tag Team Champions. We have new champions. C.W. Anderson at 36, Chris Harris at 35, James Storm at 44, but Charlie Haas at 47. Very, very good indeed. And that is the segment rating here. 47 rating is really, really good. And Red Alert's title reign as champions comes to an end with the Mavericks getting the victory against them. And after the match, James Storm, Chris Harris, and Woman are very, very happy with their victory. They're all celebrating the fact that they've got now the tag team belts. And James Storm sends out a message, and he says to Bruce Hart and Keith Hart that if they want to get the belts back from the Mavericks, and if they want James Storm to be out with this company by the end of July as they had planned all along, then they've got two choices. First is to strip them of the belts and declare the belts vacant. The second choice is to face them like men at the next show in 2 weeks' time for a tag team title match. And that's how they leave it. They leave the ring. Segment rating of 46, a very, very decent segment, despite James Storm not doing well without a script to follow. So really, really good stuff here. And then the main event, Dave Batista versus Mark Henry. Not an especially good match, I'm afraid. Batista wins in 10 minutes 48 by pinfall, making defense number 2 of the Northwest title. This only got a segment rating of 32. I was hoping for a little bit better, and I'm looking at the rank ratings, and I feel like they should be a bit better. Batista was a 37, Mark Henry a 31. It has here the note that the bout dragged in the middle, with the lack of flow being noticeable, and that is often the thing you get when the two wrestlers aren't really able to put a contest together psychologically speaking, and I guess that might be the deficiency that these two are struggling with here. But nevertheless, Dave Batista makes defense number 2 of the Northwest title. Then after the match, Sean Stasiak comes out to the entranceway at a distance from Batista, and he tells Batista that he will be the man to take the belt from him now that Mark Henry's had his shot. Stasiak tells Batista to hang on and look after that thing, because when he gets to him and he becomes the number 1 contender, Batista is done. Segment rating of 47, very, very decent indeed. This recovered the heat in that Batista versus Henry and Stasiak storyline. Sean Stasiak improvised well throughout the segment, a very decent way to finish the show. And there we have it, 2 really great matches, the tag team title match and the opener. A couple of really good angles, the Mavericks angle after they won the tag title belts, and Sean Stasiak's warning to Batista. A couple of bits in the middle that weren't so good, and a main event that really was actually the worst match on the show, and we've been kind of building to for a while. Obviously, Mark Henry came in as a monster here. We always expected him to have a title shot. He gets it, and it's not a particularly good match, but it's fine. We never expected Mark Henry to win that title. He hasn't shown enough quality of performance to get to that level yet. And it looks like now Batista's going to go into the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza as the Northwest Champion. An overall show rating of 38, which is not bad, although nowhere near kind of the top end. And who's going to be given praise? Well, I think Charlie Haas, as always, should be complimented. CM Punk should be complimented. And I guess, what else are we going to do? Let's give the other one to... Let's give it to Chris Harris. I think he did an okay performance. Still reasonably new to the company. And those are the messages we're sending out to our roster. Let's have a look then at the top 100s. That's what I wanted to kind of just check in on here, because obviously that as a show wasn't the best one. The Big Night Out won, 18th best show of all time. But match-wise, we had some really good ones here, including CM Punk versus Teddy Hart, the 4th best match in company history, and the Mavericks against Red Alert was the 5th best match in company history. So those two were excellent and really kind of lived up to the top end. And, maybe we should have called an audible there and made the tag team title the main event, but I just it wasn't consistent with the way I've run the shows in the past, and I just felt like, we have been pretty strict with our Northwest title always headlining if it's on the line. And in this situation, it was. And I just felt like we can't really justify having the Mavericks versus Red Alert in the main event, despite the fact that that would have been a far better main event to go with. And yes, here they are, James Storm and Chris Harris, the new tag team champions. Um, I've got to be quite honest with you. I kind of know what the result of the Keith and Bruce Hart match is going to be in a couple of weeks' time. It might not surprise you that the Mavericks are going to come through that test, but in terms of how that is going to interact with James Storm's contract storyline, I don't yet know. I haven't fully fleshed out the details. I've got an idea for what I want to do, but I'm not entirely certain how it's going to work with, as I say, James Storm in the story being out of contract at the end of July. But they are now the tag team champions. And we can see here Batista on two successful title defenses, although they haven't been as good a level that we would like. Certainly, the title in general has not been at the level that it was when the Shadow was champion, James Storm, of course. Um, Dan Severn had a couple of really good matches, but Batista is yet to really get to that level. I mean, I guess he did have the match where he beat Ace Steel in the first place, but we'll see where that goes from here on in. And yeah, Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza Day 1 is the next show we've got booked, which means we need to actually add another event. I have not yet determined what this is going to be called, and I think we'll just go with a suggested name for this next event. Apologies again if you can hear me coughing. Yeah, I've got another cough. Yeah, I'm not finding anything here that I'm really loving in terms of the next show. Oblivion, maybe. New Horizons, I don't dislike. Have we not had a New Horizons show? It feels like, let's just have a look. If we haven't had, it's not. It doesn't even really feel um appropriate. So I'm going beyond that. What about Breaking Point? Have we had a Breaking Point? Feels like we must have had a Breaking Point. It seems like a show name that we will have used in the past. I'm not seeing it. I'm just going to go with Breaking Point. I don't think it's a very good name, and it's not appropriate of anything. It's not apropos of anything. So, no reason for us to call it that. Just feels like uh, something that would work for our next show. So we're putting it in. Um, so that's Breaking Point will be the next event in 2 weeks' time, or in 2 days' time, depending on what episode this is. I can't even remember what episode this is. It might be the Tuesday or the Thursday episode, but it won't be as long for you as it is for in-game time anyway, put it that way. And I think we move on to the next player-controlled show. While we've got a little bit of time before we get there, I will just say thank you for watching today, and please hit the like button if you've enjoyed today's episode. Apologies for my voice being a bit croaky, for some of the coughing that I've done. And yeah, I think I'm looking forward to the next couple of episodes. We are likely to have our second July show take place on the next episode, and then the episode after that will be at least one, if not both nights of the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, which is kind of like the beginning or the end, I'm not sure, of our oh, we've had this situation again where it's where the game's gone and stopped on me. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll reload it off air. I don't think we need to dwell on that too much. But yeah, yeah, it tends to be either the beginning or the start of our year in some ways. The Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza. We've got the anniversary show just after that as well. So that's all to come. So it's quite a big and exciting period of the year for the company. But yeah, thank you for watching today, and I hope I'll catch you next time. But until then, thank you very much for watching.